In the 1970s, you took a position at Philip Exeter School. It became co-ed in the 1970s, the student body. What was the atmosphere like there at the heels of the Civil Rights Movement? Who were your allies, and was that atmosphere warm or chilly? And also in terms of your academic objective, did you have in mind to teach white students about black writers such as Baldwin and Walker and Hayden? And talk about some of your curriculum.
Well, that's what I did. First of all, that go to your first question. It was a co-ed. It co-eded about the year I got there. There were 6 women who came into the school, and it was a tough assignment because being a minority, I was a minority of a minority. These double minority there, yeah, right. And so it was a double entendre for me. I had to really deal with all of that. And the English department was with the traditional teaching for a long time, but you were free. One thing about Exeter, which I admire, and at the time, and I still admire, your classroom was your castle. And you, even though we had meetings about this, that, and the other, you had a course of study that you could use, but you could also infuse your own writing in it. Right, but they were not devoid of black writers. They were teaching black writers when I came up there, They knew Baldwin. They were teaching, I don't know about Hayden, but they knew Baldwin and some of the outstanding, Ralph Ellison. Those books were being taught. What really happened was, after I got there, was the more women who came into the department, the more we got into African-American women writers. And Alice Walker, and we did those writers, and even further back than that, way back into some of the other, Phyllis Wheatley, Ann Petrie, some of those other women, we got into that. Gwendolyn Brooks, of course, who was my mentor, so we brought all of them into the system, and we said, and I remember when we did this, we said, okay, we'll stay with the traditional teaching. We're not going to toss that out because that's essential. But let's integrate it with contemporary works and contemporary writers. Native American writers we brought in, Asian writers, women, a lot of them women. As the mood changed toward women while I was up there, as that whole women's movement began, then more of these women who were coming in, and we all began to talk about, well, who are we going to teach and how are we going to teach? Now, it wasn't all roses, a bed of roses, because I'm not so sure that all of the teachers were, even the women, were happy with that kind of thing, but they had options. They could teach or not. I remember Gloria Naylor was one of my favorites, and teaching her, and we just mentioned the beloved Toni Morrison. We brought her in because she has a lot of short stories and wonderful things, and of course, so we began to bring that into the academy. And right now, I really believe that English department is teaching more.
It's richer though.
It's richer, and doing a better job at it than some of our public schools. I was talking to a woman in the public schools the other day at a poetry reading, and she said to me, please do what you can to get them to bring more black writers so our kids would know who our black writers are. And I can tell you that I've talked with them. They don't know who George James Baldwin is. They don't know who Gwendolyn Brooks is, and they certainly don't know who I am. So I don't know where this is taking place. That's not true of all the public schools in Washington. Nothing is ever true of all of them. But if you want to make a comparison between the two schools, this private school up in New England, which was very waspy when I got into it, and it's no longer this way, was doing a better job than we were doing down here.